Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Self-Love Self-Care System Conversation with Experts. Today, we have the lovely Kimberley Leite from Beings of Light. Kimberley is a counsellor, Ascension teacher, light language alchemist, Reiki therapist, and channel for various non-physical love-based beings. These beings refer to themselves as the beings of the light, and she brings these forth with Ascension teachings. Kimberley has been connected to angelic beings since her early adolescent years. Her role as a teacher and facilitator to other light workers arose when she experienced transformational personal trauma and healed herself using energy healing and an application of well-being via the law of attraction. As a result, Kimberley began her professional training as a counsellor and relationship therapist, earning her Bachelor of Counselling and a graduate diploma of relationship counselling during this time, while working as a professional counsellor. She came to remember her ability to channel higher dimensional beings. Kimberley also hosts in-person and online events, as well as hosting her podcast show. Without further ado, hello Kim, and welcome to the show. It's absolutely lovely to have you here.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me on. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
You are welcome. So just for my viewers, I would like to tell you, we do know each other. Kim and I know each other. So I would say we're friends. So this might be quite informal and very gentle. And it's just going to ask him some questions. I have kind of nosiness in mind, really. I'm going to ask her some general questions about her life and about her channeling ability. So Kim, my first question would be, how did working as a professional counsellor bring you into a space where you remembered your channeling ability?
Yeah, well, the way I was trained to become a counsellor is person-centered. So basically what that means is that we were trained to, when you connect with your client, you don't get in your way. You basically put up a blank slate, so to speak. So they say is that, everything that we have learned will just come when it's needed, right? But I didn't know it at the time that was actually a form of channeling, right? And so of course, as a beginner counselor, you would be like, okay, I need to say this. Okay, if someone says this, I have to say this, and you try to think in your mind, what are you going to do? But we were trained to forget all that and just trust, connect, be present with your client, and then the information will come through. But yeah, when I was sitting there as a counsellor, I was there with, I think the first time I was professionally counselling was with groups. And I remember connecting with clients and I was like, this information that's coming through, oh, I didn't learn that. Oh, that's interesting. Where'd that come from? Right? And then I was like, okay, I'm just intuitive doing the counselling. Maybe I learned it somewhere and blah, blah, blah. And then as I go along, I learned more about channeling. And yeah, I just discovered that the information that I was coming through was actually channeling. And when that happened, it was just, I felt like I can help people, in a deeper way, because, depending on where you're working at the time, I was working for an organisation that had a certain way to counsel. So, I couldn't go too much out of left field, with what I say. Yes, I had my own clients. I could channel what I wanted, but I still had to keep in sort of guidelines. So I found that I used to tweak what I channeled to be a bit more subtle and a bit more, like positive psychology, which does kind of use some, law of attraction things and, kind of spiritual, but it's just changing the terminology around, right? But I just found that I got to a point that, traditional counselling, it took me so far, right? Yes, it was able to develop my abilities to connecting, but it got to a point where I was seeing people and I knew, and when I first started counselling, my clientele were people with mental health challenges, especially like anxiety and depression. And I got to a point where it's like, I know what I can tell them that would help them. But because I was in the organisation, I couldn't go there. And I just felt after some time, I was just like, I can't do this. I can't be a traditional counsellor. At the time, I had a previous business when I was doing more traditional holistic counselling and Reiki. So I just got to the point, I got to do my own business. That's it. I can't do this. I feel like, I don't know, it feels like I can help someone today and I could really bring forth information that could really assist them about what is really going on from a higher perspective. And I had to kind of bite the bullet, and it was a bit scary because I went through, 4 years of training with a degree, postgraduate diploma in relationship counselling and, counselling, and I was just, and of course, like I was thinking in my head, what's people going to think? What's others going to think? I'm this professional. Now I'm going to start doing channeling and people going to think, I'm in psychosis because in a traditional counselling sense, if you're seeing things, you might have psychosis. But now so it's kind of like I just had to kind of trust it. I did start my business, even though I was advertising as traditional counselling, I did kind of put some channeling, but it was kind of hidden. And then eventually I just had to quit that business. I had to close it down and just focus 100% on the beings of the light. So a new business, advertising that I did channeling and other modalities that I do, like high dimensional therapy, which is a unique channeling modality that I co-created, the beings of the light, basically. So that is kind of like a therapy session. So it's the micro skills of counselling. So it's basically people who want to work on life challenges, dark night of the soul and so forth. But the information that comes through is channeling and also has a light language meditation to it. So with all my counselling, therapy session, I would always do a meditation. So now with high dimensional therapy, I've kind of bridged my background as a counsellor and channeling. So I have that as a unique ability called high dimensional therapy. But yes, I've got many other modalities and traditional channeling, higher self readings, and a lot of other things. But it was a powerful transition, and it's I still use it to this day, my counselling abilities as well as with my high dimensional therapy. Of course, when I sit there, when I do sit with the client, it's not just the counselling process, it's the before, it's the afterwards, talking to your client about how to process that information. And of course, for a lot of people, it can be very emotional, so you do have to process that with your clients. So it's it's expanded my practice as a channel. So it's been a journey.
Absolutely beautiful. I love your journey, and I love the fact that you accepted and really went into that opposition, because it is difficult. And I really get what you're saying about the whole psychosis thing. People saying, well, if you're a counsellor or you do psychiatry, because a lot of psychiatrists end up thinking the same thing. They start to channel, they start to feel new things, and they wonder what's going on with them, and they start to think it's psychosis. So it is very interesting. Did you feel a kind of pull, though, at that point where you were making that change? And did you also worry that people would, I guess, see you in a way that was less of light because you'd made a decision to step away from what is traditional at the time this was? Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, well, it's, like you said in my introduction, I've always had a connection to the angels, but, and even though I was also a Reiki therapist, I was actually guided to become a counsellor. So I had this, I didn't know it at the time that I was supposed to be a counsellor, but not stay as a traditional counsellor, because I was guided to do a counselling degree. And like you said before, it's because I went through transformational trauma. And it was just a very deep passion for me to assist others. To heal others. And so at the time when I knew I just had to go into to just do channeling and not do traditional counselling, there was a bit of a tug, because I had professional accreditation, and there was different rules and regulations of what you can do as a counsellor. So that was my thing too. I was worried about, okay, if I go out to be a channel, what does that mean with my accreditation, my professional bodies and all that kind of stuff that you are part of. And I knew that being a counsellor, of course, might be more successful for me, because obviously it's there's a larger field of people who might want traditional counselling over channeling. And so even though I put all those years of hard work into it, I might have more monetary money coming back to me during the traditional counselling route. I had to stick to what my heart was was saying to do, and that was I had to honor my past. And yeah, I started seeing everything like in my life, everything leading up to this, and I knew it was not a waste of time. I meant to do counselling because I still integrated with all the work that I do now as a channel. And I just had to kind of step out publicly. This is what I do. Of course, you have to come out to all your family and your friends, be public. This is what I do. And of course, it can trigger you. And, and for a lot of light workers out there, a lot of us has been, persecuted in other lives. So a lot of us have these soul contracts. I had a soul contract that I was aware of as well. In later years I discovered, but so a lot of us coming out public about what I do can trigger fear in you. So I had to push past through, process all that fear and go, this is what I do. And it's not like I'm going backwards being a channel. It's actually it's like adding to what I can offer people, because psychology and counselling, it's great. Yes, traditional counselling is great for people who are aligned to that, but it doesn't go to the deeper levels of metaphysical reasons about what's going on. So the fact I've got both worlds, it heightens everything that I do. And yeah, once I could take that leap, and it was amazing. I felt more free, and it was more aligned to me, and never looked back, basically.
It's amazing. It is amazing. And I love that, because I mean, even for myself, actually making that leap and saying, this is what I do, it was always a bit of a question of how is the world going to take that from me? So yeah, I do get that. And I love that you did it. And it shows such strength of character that you were able to just hear that voice and do as you were asked, really, and just say, okay, this is where I'm going. And I trust in that. So that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say this now. Kim is my first interview for Conversations with Experts. So she is very special. And it's been amazing and lovely having you here. And I love working with you because I do feel we're quite in sync. And so that's really, really good. So Kim, for our viewers, where can they find you? I will put all the handles in the information at the bottom, because dear Kim has so many handles. So you might want to just say a few of those.
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, thank you for having me on, and I love working with you too, and it's very honoured that I'm your first guest. But yeah, I do have a lot of socials. So basically the easiest thing to do is just to go on my website, beingsofthelight.com, and you'll find on the website, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll have all my socials. So I've got Facebook page, Facebook group, Beings of Light with Kimberley Community. I've got Instagram, Beings of Light. I've got YouTube channel. I've got 2 podcasts, Mystical Musings with Friends. Again, I set the Ascension, the live Ascension teachings, which are basically the recordings of my live channeling sessions. So yeah, but again, all the links are there on my website. So check it out. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. And like as I say, I will put Kim's links down in the information. And as you see now, she has lots and lots of different socials where you can find her. And as you know where you can find me. You can find me on Facebook at the Angel System page or the Self-Love Self-Care System coaching page. And obviously there's this as well. And you never know, I might start some other things too. So thank you all very much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. We send you so much love. Namaste. We'll definitely speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.